Hi, and welcome to this time of prayer. And do you feel like you're just barely hanging on sometimes? And you're like, whoa, what in the world is going on? And so often we find passages like that, especially in the Psalms. The Psalms are all about real life when we are struggling, when things are going kind of okay, when we feel like it's piling up, when things are joyful. It runs it runs all of human life. And so for today, I've got Psalm 119, verses 157 through 160. My oppressors and enemies are many, but I haven't turned away from your laws. I look on the faithless and I'm disgusted because they haven't kept your word. Look at how much I love your precepts. Make me live again, Lord. According to your faithful love, the first thing to know about your word is that it is true and that all your righteous rules last forever. So here the psalmist is like, I'm trying to make the right decisions. I'm trying to do the right things, but it just feels like it's kind of piling on. Like it's still a struggle, and I'm trying to take comfort in your presence, oh God. And expressing that through the word, like saying, okay, I try to live according to these teachings. And so it's this sense, right? It's this sense that we are going to struggle, that there are going to be times where we feel like we're barely hanging on, even when we are doing everything kind of right. And that, what are we holding on to? What is it? Barely we're holding on to some of these verses and we just kind of keep repeating them to ourselves. Are we holding on to times of prayer? Are we holding on to the encouragement that we get from friends who really kind of embody God's love, God's peace with us? And so to think about, what are we holding on to in these moments where we are just barely doing it? And to recognize we aren't alone. We are not alone in this journey. The psalmist here is talking from a couple thousand years ago, more like, anywhere almost to 3,000. And to think about that, to think about how we have struggled all along and what are we holding on to? What are we barely holding on to get us through? Pray with me. Oh God, there are so many times where we feel like we are barely hanging on, where we feel things are kind of piling up, things are kind of coming at us. The struggle is real. And we try to hold on to some of those words of your love, of your strength, of you always being present, and yet it is so hard. And so we cry out to you, oh God, help us. Help us as we are barely hanging on. Make yourself known to us. Make your presence known this day as we struggle. Help us to hold on to your love, to your strength. Help us to find new ways of holding on. Amen. Have a great one.